Excuse me, ma'am, would you like paper or plastic? Seldom do I hear these words anymore. Usually the clerk just begins stuffing my items into a small plastic bag. Until I present this. My giant IKEA bag. These are actually free at IKEA, and you can fit a ton of stuff in this bag. Now, if you can carry it back to your car, that's another question, or carry it back inside of your home. But paper or plastic is a word I don't hear much anymore. How many of you have seen the 1967 classic, The Graduate? It's a great movie. Check it out if you haven't. I just have one word to say to you. Plastic. There is a future in plastic. Yes, there is a future in plastic, and the future is now. Did you know that there are 15 billion plastic bags in use throughout the country? But first of all, before I talk about plastic bags, I want to mention the ubiquitous plastic bottle. The plastic water bottle is going to be the top selling drink in the year 2016, above soda, above iced tea, above anything else. And we go through 15 billion of these every year. And they are recyclable, but only 23% of them end up in the recycling. So I challenge you to take a look at what you're drinking and try something else. This. I bought it at Target last week for $12.99. This is something I'll use, hopefully, until my kids think you lose it. I actually worked for a Catholic school a couple of years ago, and I was pretty infuriated because they decided that it would be a good idea to sell water bottles to kids for lunch. Okay, how many of you remember the drinking fountains that we had at school? Those are very easy to use. So, with the plastic bags, I didn't think a lot about the plastic bags years ago. I just went through and threw away anything I wanted. It just didn't matter to me. I didn't think about it. I threw away my trash. I was very responsible. I did not litter. But 30 years ago, I met my friend June. Now, at first, I detested June. June is 5'11". She had a mullet. She had a t-shirt that all of her t-shirts, she liked to cut the sleeves off so they looked like fringe. And when I first saw her, a really horrible word came to my mind. Tree-hugging eco-Nazi. Well, that's like several words. She happened to be one of my roommates. My other roommate worked for the EPA. They were both environmentalists, and they were serious about recycling. We lugged all of our stuff down to Troost. If you don't remember that, we used to not have curbside recycling in Kansas City, and we would recycle our stuff there. We would recycle everything, including the used paper, the toilet paper roll. I thought, this is ridiculous. And we also spent like $400 on a rechargeable lawnmower. And she would kind of embarrass me sometime when she would bring her own container into a restaurant and say, can you please put my leftovers in here? And I thought, oh, geez. But I'm actually doing the same thing now. 30 years later, I understand it. I understand the impact that all of us have on the environment in which we live. And I'm not trying to make you feel guilty, but I just want you to engage you and have you think about some of the changes that you might be able to make. For example, with the water bottles. The water bottle is kind of, I feel like people are getting ripped off. Because it really is just tap water with maybe a few minerals sprinkled in. And although it can recycle, you're still causing a lot of energy by the recycling process. So one of the questions I had for my friend June is, how do you stay so positive about this? Because once a week I'll hear a story at NPR and I'll just shut it off. Or I'll hear something on TV, I'll just shut it off because I get so depressed. I just can't listen to it anymore. I feel overwhelmed. You're like, what can I do to make a change? Well, I asked her, and she said she has to focus on the solution and not the problem. Focus on the change. What are the changes that we make? What are the positive things that we can do that we can pass on to our kids? And so it's a consciousness, it's an awareness of what you use and what you throw away. So she gave me a quote on Facebook the other day, and I'm going to read it to you. It's from An Inconvenient Truth. How many people have seen that movie? I haven't either, because I'm too depressed about it. But I'm going to someday. But here's the quote that she gave me. Let's open our hearts and face this together. We must bring forth an environmentally sustainable, socially just, spiritually fulfilling human presence on Earth. And this is for everyone, not just for people in America. Everyone who is faced with the challenges that we don't have. You know, I used to think that water was, oh, water just comes from the tap. We can use water whenever we want to. We always have water. Well, there, of course, as you know, millions of people around the world who do not have clean drinking water. And this is a resource that is actually limited. So I know that I'm preaching to the choir for a lot of you because you already do these things. But I want you to think about it. Think about it as you go through your daily life. What do you use and what is your impact on the environment? Because we really are in this together. Thank you.